Hello and welcome to Conspiracy in Real Time, the greatest show on earth. I am your medicated and unregulated host, Joshua Stonecutter. I've already got a YouTube video deleted. You guys, they already deleted one of my videos. So because of that, we're going to redo an episode basically, in a way. But they said that they deleted it for medical misinformation related to the virus, So I know that I dropped the C word, the C-O-V word. So like, I'm not going to do that again. It's like, it's a no-no word. You know what I'm saying? It's a no-no word like the P word. Like the word that I'll never say on here. The P word, the P-E-D word. All right. So yeah, luckily they did not give me a strike. They just took my video down. Okay. Let's go over the tracks and then we're going to get into it. I worked today, you guys. I did a great job at work, man. I killed it today. The SS was out in full force. They were trying to mess with me. Didn't let it happen. I stayed focused and collected signatures from over 100 voters today. That's not easy. That means that I asked probably about 500, 600 people. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, anyways, yeah. I worked today. So, first track, The Moon Man. Yes, The Moon Man. Let's see here. This vinyl has, it's got a few smudges in it, but it looks like it'll play just fine. Absolutely just fine. No scratches. So we have the Alice Clark mix, Is Anybody Out There, and Hard But Fair. All tracks written and produced by Stretch and Vern. Made in England. I don't see a year on this. Judging by the price tag, is probably late 90s. Most of these are late 90s records. Some are early 2000s. I have no idea what this record is. I don't even know what it sounds like. Mark et Claude. The track is called L.A. And we got Jasper Jones mix, DJ Taucher, Taucher. Then we have Moonman's, that's interesting, Moonman's Flashover mix, and then the Club mix. All right, so I would check that track out. I don't even know, I don't know what either of those tracks sound like. I just pulled them out of my record bin for the artwork. Then, of course, we have the Stranger Things cast and all that. All right, so we're redoing an episode. Like I said, we're going to talk about Michael Aquino. And because, you see, the video got deleted. The last video got deleted for giving medical misinformation. Because basically what I said in it was like, look, I had the virus, and it's just a little cold. They're lying to us, blah, blah, blah. That's what I said. But I think I did use, I called it by its name. I didn't just call it a virus or the virus. I called it by its specific name. And they gave me a slap on the wrist. They took my video down. All right. So we're not talking about that. Let me talk about my day a little bit, and then we're going to get into the topic, because let me tell you why I want to talk about my day. I am 100% targeted. Period. End of discussion. I'm targeted. I don't really know how else to put it. The only people that would say I'm not targeted or I'm crazy are the people that target me. It's just that simple. Like who else would not listen to a word that I say and then draw a conclusion based on what? Based on what they want. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, anyways, okay, so today at work, I did a great job. The SS, like I said, they were out in full force, because Sunday's their day. Sunday's sacrifice day. Sunday. Sunday's sacrifice day. And I wonder when I'm there if I'm collecting signatures from somebody who's going to be off later on that evening, or if I'm collecting signatures from somebody who's going to participate in it later on that evening. And I know that as far as the participation factor, I know that I am. These people are messing with me all the time. And these people are the underground SS PEDs. Sometimes I work near a church, right? And it's like a Catholic church. The people that come out of there gaslight me and treat me just like all the other SS. Some of them even do their hand signals. Today, I saw a woman actually do the hand in the shirt pocket doing the Freemason sign as she rounded the corner. And I'm like, are you kidding me, man? You guys are so ridiculous. Let me talk for a minute about false pride. Okay, let me talk about false pride, and then we're going to talk about Michael Aquino, because those two things are directly connected. Michael Aquino is filled with false pride and all that stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I believe he's one of those people that's probably going to stay alive for a very long time. He's probably been alive for a long time, which means that he is, drinking the red velvet. I don't know what they call it. I'm going to start calling it the red velvet, though, because that sounds right to me. That feels right. And I had somebody on a nitrous. Okay, so check this out. This is why I'm calling it the red velvet. I was partying with a man who works at Google, right? He now works at Google. His last name is Singer or Sanger. I don't know which. Like Singer, I think Singer sewing machines, right? And he was like doing a bunch of nitrous. And he was like, don't let them take my red velvet. Don't let them take my red velvet, man. And I was like, what are you saying, bro? And he said, bro, don't ever tell anybody that I said that. So, of course, now I'm telling people because, man, Google are one of the people that are targeting me. F that. Like, I'm sure that I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Singer personally has participated in targeting me. I wouldn't be surprised if he's dressed up or put on a skin suit and come collected signatures, signed a petition with me before or something, Anyways, so that's why I'm going to call it red velvet. Anyways, Michael Aquino, he's probably 100% partaking in the red velvet. And I believe that's why they shuffled the Catholic priests around. It's probably because they're all staying the same age, you know what I mean? Except for the ones they don't like or the ones they need to get older or something. I don't know. I don't know how it works, okay? And this is something about my show. I am never going to sit here and pretend like, oh, I know this and I know that. But let's just go over the facts of the stuff that I do know, okay? And then we'll talk about Michael Aquino. I know for a fact that there is some stuff going on underground Florida, in the major cities. You can go into any big building where there's like 3 or 4 elevators. One elevator is always going to be out. Bet on it. This is why my show is called Conspiracy in Real Time and not Conspiracy Theories. Because you can go drive to downtown Miami or wherever, probably downtown Orlando as well. And I promise you, you'll find this situation. You know what I mean? Oh, one of the elevators isn't working. Oh, it's working. It's working just fine. It's going like, a half mile down into the ground or whatever. I've found some locations that they have so many elevators, you guys. It is absurd. Like, it's a bunch of 2- and 3-story buildings spread all over the place, and every single one of them has a huge elevator in them. All of them. And they're like connected through like the second story, so there's no reason for them to have all these elevators. But I know the shops where they're coming up out of the ground and stuff like that. I know some of the locations where they are popping up out of the ground. They're not getting beamed down from the sky, I'll tell you that much, all right? It's very obvious. And you can even tell from their reactions that they're coming out and they're smelling fresh air for the first time in I don't know how long. And I'm trying to have like more respect for these people because, no, I don't know, F that. Screw that. Because what gets you a ticket into this magical Narnia land underneath the ground? What gets you a ticket down there is like selling your family into slavery and like selling, and probably straight genociding people and stuff like that. Because the red velvet comes from processing a human body. You know what I'm saying? I think they scare you and terrorize you, and then there's some essence that they take from you, like in that movie, The Dark Crystal. And I think that's what the University of Florida is all about. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving any medical information or any medical advice or anything like that. These are just hypotheses. But I do know this. They are going down underneath the ground. Also, in addition to that, I have seen objects in the sky that you and I would call UFOs. This is the thing. I can't tell what shape they are. All right? I can't tell what shape they are, but they are behaving in the sky, not like an airplane, and their lights, more importantly, their lights are not like an airplane. So that's what I know. Anyways, also the underground stuff. It's not just out in public places. It's people's houses, and some churches have these, portals. That's what they're. Oh, they're portals, right? Oh, portals to another dimension. I disapprove. Oh yeah, these are the hand signals that they use, and I saw them all day today, you guys. This is one of them. This is one of them. Like you do this, then you have like the hand on the chest, and then the one that I get. I disapprove of you. And they always do this one behind my back, man. Like, these people are so. You guys, these people are so freaking like just petty. Their favorite artist is Tom Petty. Do you see what I'm saying? Their favorite sports star is Richard Petty. They are just so petty and juvenile. It's insane. And usually, this is the thing, is usually when they're messing with me when I'm working, it's not them messing with me that bothers me. Like, because before, they would get into my subconscious and I would like leave work like kind of thinking it was my own choice, but really it was them, messing with me. Now it's almost funny. It is funny at times, but then I have to remind myself what's really going on. And what's really going on is stuff with infants. This is all about like infants and like trafficking stuff and trafficking of little infants, it looks like. That's what it looks like. Okay? I'm not saying, oh, I know for a fact that's what it is or that's what it is. I'm saying that people that I know are either trying to make it look like the church I grew up in is like, I was going to say balls deep, but like, it's like a horrible time to use that expression. Like, it looks like most everybody at my church is like full blown, like knows about this stuff or is involved about this stuff. The church I grew up going to. Either everybody there knows about it, or people are trying to make me think that everybody there knows about it and is participating in it. I don't know which. All right. I am rambling. We're going to talk about Michael Aquino. Who is he? This is the thing. It was learning about Michael Aquino because when I started reading, okay, this is what you have to understand. When I started reading and researching Michael Aquino, it was after I knew that I was being targeted, and I had been experiencing this whole targeted thing for a while. My phones were getting hacked, and it was around the point that I realized I was getting shadow banned on like a couple different social media platforms. And I started reading about Michael Aquino, and this is what happens to me when I'm researching, you guys. For me personally, when I come across something that is true, meaning for me in my life and relates to something that I experienced growing up or something that I'm experiencing now, my body starts to react to whatever it is I'm reading or researching before my brain even really like catches on to what's happening. It's the most bizarre thing. So I can tell from it's really interesting, you guys. Like, and this might have something to do with or be tied in with the special capabilities that targeted individuals have, because I do believe that we have them. You know what I mean? So like, that's one, is that it doesn't matter if it's the weirdest thing. It doesn't matter if I've ever read this thing or ever thought about this idea before in my life or not. If I read over something and it is true for me, my body starts to react before my brain even realizes what's going on. So now, as soon as that starts happening, I'm like, I'm on to something. I know I'm on to something, and I am, and I'm right. So my point is this. When I started reading about Michael Aquino and I started reading about his participation in MK Ultra and his participation in mind war and psychological warfare, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like, he might be the puppet master, like assigned to me specifically, or somebody that knows him. Do you see it? If it's not somebody in my family, and it's not artificial intelligence, then it's somebody in the military, which is kind of scary. And whoever that person is probably knows somebody like Michael Aquino, because they're having to shift, and they're having to shift the rules of this game, and they're having to change the rules of this game because of me. Like, it is so unfair, you guys. I'll figure something out and I'll circumvent it and I'll work around it. And then they just come along and boom, stomp it out. And I'm talking about the social media, the deleting of my accounts on social media, you guys. I've already had a YouTube channel deleted, 15 TikTok accounts deleted, Facebook, Instagram, Quora. Yeah, this is the works of some like satanic person, like somebody who would set up the Temple of Set, which was an offshoot of the Satanic Temple. You see, this guy Michael Aquino, he was good friends with Anton LaVey, and then he started the Temple of Set, which you have to understand that if you're into these religions, right, you are having mind war and psychological operations run on you. And Michael Aquino is somebody that has his hands on all this black technology. So how easy would it be for somebody who knows Michael Aquino to set up some kind of like simple hologram machine, whatever, and then you're having like a seance in your living room and all of a sudden, boom, there's a face that just appears, or there's a person. But really, it's just technology that we're not privy to. Michael Aquino's, obviously, he knows all about it. This is the interesting thing. Okay, he was called a master programmer, right? So right there, anybody who's like been a victim of any kind of mind control type stuff should not like this man. And that means every American. But this guy was a colonel in our military. So he was doing all the MK Ultra stuff. Then all of a sudden, like around the 80s, there's the Franklin cover-up, which will take you weeks or a month to research, which I have researched it, and you should as well. You need to research the Franklin cover-up. You need to research what happened with Michael Aquino involved in relation to the Franklin cover-up, and Michael Aquino in relation to this California daycare situation. There was a California daycare center in California where they had tunnels underneath the daycare. Sound familiar, right? Because this is like what I'm talking about. And there was like 25 children that all came forward and said, hey man, we're like, they are like doing S stuff with us. They're bringing us out into the community and they're like S trafficking us from a daycare. These are like 7-year-old kids. The testimony was very conclusive. It was very damning, and all charges were just dropped. But Michael Aquino was all over that one. So he started the Temple of Set, which is just a place to lie to and gaslight members of the community. You know what I'm saying? You set up all this weird gang stalking stuff and make it look like, oh, Satan's really working in your life. It's so funny. Like, let me just pause for a moment and say, I don't think that there are any like satanic like stories. Like there's stories, like there's religious stories that you'll hear quite often. I can't think of what they're called, but when somebody comes to know the good Lord and like something really good happens to them that like, you know, is totally unexplainable, and or like they get a really good feeling, or you know what I'm saying, like they just, their life changes and it's just all this good stuff. Testimonies. So you hear all these really good testimonies, right? All these really good Christian testimonies, and really quite convincing ones too, right? And like you can talk to the people afterwards, they'll answer your questions. Where's all the satanic testimonies? Like, I just felt moved by Satan. You know what I'm saying? These people, they're not walking proud out and about in the streets. They're hiding out in their homes because they're sickos, you guys. And some of them, like the ones that I've dealt with personally in my adult life, have been in AA, they've been in NA, they've been in the rehab I went to. You guys, every single girl I've ever dated has been set up for me by these people. And I can only assume it's because of my parents, you know? So back to Michael Aquino. He was really big into the psychological operations thing. I mean, huge into it. Like he probably like tweaked and finalized the group stalking, gang stalking thing. Because that came over here as like, Well, I don't know because it's a SS thing. It's a secret society thing. So I don't want to pretend to know where it came from and all this stuff. But I do know this about it is that it was used in Nazi Germany by the Stasi and by the SS in Germany. So given the fact that we had Operation Paperclip and we had all these German scientists and stuff like that come over here, and a lot of them were working on MK Ultra with Michael Aquino, I think it's pretty safe to say that, like, you know, Michael Aquino probably tweaked and refined the group stalking and like brought it into like the digital age, I'm guessing, with cell phones. I'm guessing, you know, him and his crew probably did that. That's what my instincts are telling me. That's what my gut's telling me. I have no evidence of that whatsoever. But like, given how big he was into mind war, and check this out, he was in the DIA's psychological warfare division. He had top secret clearance. This guy. I mean, he knows about the levitating crafts that we call spaceships, all that stuff. Speaking of, he was really big into the UFO psyop, which is basically making us all believe that when we do see a flying saucer or a UFO, oh, that it's definitely from outer space. Oh, we can just automatically assume that it's from outer space and know for 100% certainty that it is. I mean, that's how it's going to go down. Oh, well, where else would it be from? It's not like, oh, by the way, in addition to seeing things in the sky, I've also seen lights underneath the water, you guys. I've seen lights underneath the water. Boom. And I'm in Florida. If anybody wants to come on down, I will show you. Especially if somebody has like a reputable YouTube show or a reputable show on the internet, like I'll absolutely team up with you and show you this stuff. All right, so Michael Aquino, psychological operations. This is something I want you to know about psychological operations. And this is something that I have to keep in mind. And this is something that's been helping me recently get through my group stalking and all that stuff. The people who are perpetrating the group stalking, the perps, they have their own psychological operations being run on them. You see, part of this is to see how far they can get them to push other people and how far they can get them to do things. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, the psyops aren't just on the TIs. The psyops are being run on everybody. And I believe with the artificial intelligence combined with the supercomputers and whatever creatures there are down in the middle of the earth, I think they have some hand-tailored. I think they're hand-tailored psyops for all of us at this point. I think that's what's going on. I think we all have our own little hand-tailored psyops going on. Because the people who are the perps, you can tell, I can tell because I've like infiltrated them for like a brief moment here or there by like circumventing their surveillance and like basically making them think I'm one of them for a few minutes. I can tell they don't trust each other. They don't really like each other, you know? They walk around with the false pride that I was trying to talk about earlier and I got distracted, I think. I'm like super baked, by the way, you guys. I took like a bunch of RSO that I got today. Whoo! But anyways, back to Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino made some MK Ultra training tapes on making monarch mind slaves. He made tapes on the subject. So like if you know somebody and you're friends with somebody, or maybe if you just feel like poking around on the internet in those dark little corners, it seems like you can find training tapes on how to make a monarch mind slave. You know what I mean? I know that this guy Fritz Springmeier, who did all these lectures on it, I thought that he was like trying to inform the public, but I'm looking at his audience and I like saw his wrap up from some of these, and like I think they were more like lectures. Do you see what I'm saying? Like he was speaking to Freemasons as an Illuminati member. Do you see what I'm saying? I think that's what that was. Like, do your own research, but it seems like Fritz Springmeier is like a totally made up name. That's not even his real name. And Springmeier means like new spring, I think. Or it's Springmaster. That's what it is. It means master. Yeah, it means Springmaster. That's what it is. Springmeier means Springmaster. So like, or Master Spring or something. So like, I think the dude was like actually giving lessons, more or less. I think that's what. Go look at Fritz Springmeier's things, and it's just interesting that his are the ones that are available on YouTube. If they really didn't like him, and if he was saying stuff that he shouldn't have been talking about, you wouldn't even find him on YouTube. He would be like me. You wouldn't even know that he exists. And that's what they're doing with me, and it's scary. I have a plan. I have some plans for promoting. We'll see if they work. Okay, so back to Michael Aquino. He's associated with Moffett Air Force Base. That's in Omaha. And there's a lot of MK Ultra stuff that supposedly happened out of Moffett or Offutt. Maybe it's pronounced Offutt. I always say it wrong. It's either Offutt or Moffett. But this is my big thing about Michael Aquino, you guys. I think this dude is still alive. I think he's still alive. And every time I do videos about him, they get taken down for like various reasons. Like, oh man. Did I say stuff in this video that could get it taken down? I mean, like, I try to be very clear about, like, this is my opinion. This is what I know. Like, but this is, look, I think this dude is still alive. Why? Okay, first off, Google it. Like, where do we all go for this information, right? Like, all us, meaning, like, the sheeple, the morons. Like, you're a moron, seriously, if you just buy out. But anyway, so, still, Google is good for some things, right? Some quick references, right? Go to Google, Michael Aquino, okay, but then go to his website and it says that he ascended into my phone is so hacked. Sorry, it just glitched out on me. I'm on Twitch and all of a sudden, I think it was because I was saying Google, like my HEYGOOGL popped up. Anyways, again, I think he is still alive. Look it up on a search engine. It just popped up like my hey. Just popped up. That's why I was like, what? But look it up on any search engine. Look up Michael Aquino. And I even posted on Twitter a while back. I'm like, yo, man, I think this guy's passed away. Am I the first person to like break the news on the internet? And somebody said, no, somebody else said it, blah, blah, blah. So his followers and his people, like, it's generally accepted that he's dead, but like based on what I know about all this stuff underground and like them, I believe, consuming the red velvet to like stay the same age or even maybe get younger. He's not dead. He wasn't that old. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't that old. Who knows, man? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they only saved the red velvet for a select few. I don't know how it works. I certainly don't know how it works. But it's just weird that everybody else on the face of this planet, you can find clear, especially like people who have wiki pages. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got a wiki page. He's got plenty of stuff on the internet. And is he alive or not? You know, if he's dead, then why isn't his death posted on wiki? You know, or it wasn't the last time I checked. Maybe it's changed, but the last time I checked, it wasn't. Considering that this dude is like a lying snake, you know what I mean? PSYOP, mind war, master programmer. I don't know. Maybe he is. You know, maybe he has passed away. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I'm not buying it. And I've been watching movies recently. I'm starting to wonder if these Hollywood actors are getting makeup put on them to make them look older. I swore I saw like Harrison Ford, and what movie was it? It was one of the Star Wars movies. I was like, are they making him look older, or is he really older? Because I don't know how this stuff works, but like I do know that they have to have people that are out in the public that do age normally and just die. And maybe that's what the actors are. I don't know. But once you get knowledge of the red velvet, do you see what I'm saying? Once you know about the red velvet, boom, 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 it's probably all you think about and all you want, you know? Because I think that they have figured out a way. I believe they have figured out a way to stay the same age, you guys. I think they figured out a way to stay the same age or maybe even get younger. And I'm starting to wonder if some of the people I know are like maybe even, or some of the people I've met along the way, like some of the club owners I used to know and stuff, I'm wondering if they're like hundreds of years old. It's possible. It's totally possible. This is the sick thing, though. This is the messed up thing. And this is how the last 3 years of my life have worked, man. If it's true, okay, if it's true, and if they have figured out a way to stay the same age, right? I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, if it's true, this is what I want to say. If it is true, you're going to see evidence of it, okay? If it is true, you're going to see evidence of it, and you're going to find evidence of it. And I've seen some evidence of it. I don't want to talk about it on this show, but anyways, some different topic for a different day. So anyways, back to Michael Aquino. You know, they don't like me talking about this guy. Oh, let me tell you one more thing, strange thing for the people that are still watching that. This is actually something I should have mentioned in the beginning, because this is like the weirdest thing ever about Michael Aquino that made me think he's still alive. When I got on Parler, right, which Parler is just a spamming app. That's all it is. It's just an app for spamming other people. When I got on Parler, I was about to get off because I realized that all these politicians that got on there for its free speech, they were posting stuff, but they weren't responding to anything. And I was like responding to these people's posts on Parler, and I was like making some really good poignant arguments, and a lot of people were commenting and thumbs upping it, but they never wrote back ever with like 6 or 7 different politicians in Florida, or 4 or 5 different politicians in Florida. Anyways, so I was writing something, and I did hashtag Aquino, or maybe I did hashtag Michael Aquino. I don't know which, but it was one or the other. It was either hashtag Michael Aquino or hashtag Aquino. But this is my point. I did it 2 times on accident. Hashtag Aquino, hashtag Aquino. Or hashtag Michael Aquino, hashtag Michael Aquino. This is what it did, you guys. It did hashtag Michael Aquino. And then the second one, it said like worshipful master or something master, like grand wizard. It didn't say grand. It said something that like, I was like, what in the world? And I don't know if that happened real time, like if that was AI or me being messed with real time, or if it was like a glitch, or not a glitch, but like a, I don't even know what you call it, like a hidden thing in Parler or something like that. But considering the fact that that app was brand new and it was supposed to be for like free speech and like patriots and all this stuff, and I typed his name in twice and like some spooky crap like that, it like communicated to me that like who was really running everything. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's, at the time, it scared me and it intimidated me. You know, I was like, oh my goodness. But now that I know, every single one of these people is walking around with false pride. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't really know what else to call it when like you're full of yourself for like horrible reasons. Do you see what I'm saying? Like he falls into that category. Absolutely. Like maybe there are some rooms and some establishments where he can walk in and hold his head up high and walk in there and everybody gives him respect and he feels admired and admiration at that moment. Maybe he has enough people mind controlled and has enough money and he's whatever to where he can get whatever he wants whenever he wants. But let me tell you something I know from personal experience, and because I am an addict and because these people are horrible addicts, once you have it all, oh man, life becomes very, very unfulfilling. You know what I mean? And you start wanting more and more stuff. But if he has become the person that he is, like off, like straight, like, you know, I mean, do your own research. But the guy looks like one of the worst human beings to ever walk the face of this earth. And the people who worship the snake love this guy. They love him. Oh, they think he's great. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. This is one of the people that helped enslave the nation, the whole entire nation. You know what I mean? And like, once you study and learn about Michael Aquino, everything else will fall into place for you. Everything. Then you'll understand how and why QAnon is a satanic psyop. And it's being done just to target you and for me to target myself, for us to all target, for us to put up our hands and say, hey, we're not okay with like what 80-90% of you guys are okay with, because that's what it looks like to me at this point. It looks like it is like 75-80% of the population, you guys. I'm serious. I'm completely serious. Help prove me wrong. Help prove me wrong, you know? All right, I'm going to go ahead and bounce, you know? I hope I did a okay job recovering the master programmer, Michael Aquino, little fancy boy. I disapprove. I disapprove of you, Michael Aquino. And I do pray to the good Lord that if he does have any witchcraft or magical powers, that the good Lord remove them from him henceforth. But the fact of the matter is that there is no magic, and any tricksy gimmicks that he has are going to be, you know, black technology. You know, he might be aiming some radiation poisoning at me right now. You never know. Like I said before, they could just dig up a hole right up to underneath my bed, you guys, and just like fire the microwaves off every time I go to sleep. Why not? I mean, they dislike me that much. It would not surprise me at all. It would not surprise me in the least to find out I have some kind of like plutonium buried underneath my bed, or like I have like an asbestos mattress or something, you know? Anyways, if you're a TI, tighten up. You got to start working out. You need to get a job or 2 jobs, and you need to be ready to be treated like crap by these people, because they are going to treat you like crap. And you just have to stand up for yourself in such a way that won't let them further attack you, further get up on you, you know? Look, if I went out and collected signatures from 100 strangers today, I mean, that's what I did. I not asked 100 people, but got 100 people to say yes. That means I asked like 400, 500 people, maybe more. I don't know. I don't keep track. But I got 100 people to sign a petition today. If I can go out and do that in a big city in Florida, you can do whatever. You can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? But just know it's not going to be easy for you if you're targeted. You know, you got to tighten up. You got to toughen up, tighten up. I don't know how else to put it. All right, YouTube and bitchute. I'm going to peace out. Love y'all.